What's up, everybody? My name is Staff Sergeant Cole with the Army National Guard. Today we're here with Staff Sergeant Chung and Sergeant Holdeman. They're going to be doing the live Q&A on the Mortars, so we're going to go ahead and send it now. So go ahead, guys.
Hello, everybody. My name is Staff Sergeant Holdeman. Today I have Staff Sergeant Paul Chung with me. We're going to talk a little bit about his career and all the stuff that he's done within the National Guard. So I'm going to let him introduce himself real quick.
Sure, Staff Sergeant Paul Chung here. Been in for 10 years now. Currently the Mortar Section Sergeant for Bravo Company 2 of the 151 Infantry.
All right. So me and Sergeant Chung go back quite a while. He was actually one of the recruiters when I was the recruiting team over in Team Gary. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But right now, Sergeant Chung, where are you from?
I currently stay in Hobart, Indiana, Northwest. And I was born in Chicago. Moved to Maryville, Maryville area my senior year, and that's I stayed there ever since.
Okay.
That's when I started the National Guard as well.
When did you join the National Guard?
I joined and enlisted into the National Guard 2010.
Okay. Is that when you also went to basic training? In 2010?
That is. I went to basic training in August of 2010.
Okay. Why did you join to begin with?
So, it's a little personal, but my father filed for bankruptcy. Didn't really know what I wanted to do at the time. I know education was one of them, and putting on the uniform was always a goal of mine. And that's when I got approached with a National Guard recruiter. It sparked an interest, and that's when I pulled the trigger to officially enlist into the Guard.
All right, and what job did you choose?
I came into the National Guard as an 11 Charlie, indirect fire infantry.
Was that just because you thought that was pretty cool?
That's exactly why.
All right. And you went to basic training in 2010. Where did you go again?
I went to Fort Benning, Georgia.
Okay. And where was your AIT? Your job
So my basic and AIT was back to back. I did that one unit station training, one station unit training.
Okay.
So that OSIP program, I stayed for both basic and AIT at Benning.
So pretty much because it was OSIT, you went to basic training, and then you stayed in the exact same spot and jumped right into your job training. Is that correct? Okay. Okay. Once you graduated basic training in AIT, what happened next? You came home?
So I graduated AIT in December, and that following month in January, I was to report to the 1st 293rd Infantry out in Fort Wayne, Indiana, to be part of Battalion Mortars.
Okay. And like I said, in 2014, I came over to Team Gary as a recruiter, and you were actually a recruiter already.
Yeah.
You were one of the first people I actually got to know in the National Guard. How did you go from private in this Fort Wayne unit to being a recruiter in Maryville?
Good question. So I was given the opportunity to jump on what is called AGR, Active Guard Recruiting, full-time service within the National Guard, and the first duty assignment was at Team Gary as a local recruiter. I saw it as an opportunity, so I jumped on it, and I stayed on recruiting command for, what was it, 3 years? I was
Yeah, it was
about
about 3 years.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I became a recruiter.
All right, and then I remember after you got done with recruiting, you jumped right over to funeral honors. What is that, and how did you get into that?
So before I became a recruiter, I was also part of the Honor Guard program, and
what is Honor Guard?
So Honor Guard consists of military funeral honors.
Okay.
It also consists of color guard, honorable transfer, the rifle party at cemeteries, gravesite, things of that nature. And I was part of that back in 2011 to 2012 before I became a recruiter.
Okay.
After my time in recruiting, I stepped back and I stayed in contact with the chain of command, the Honor Guard chain. And another opportunity arose, and that's how I became an area coordinator, a team leader for military funeral honors.
Just come to our people who watch and comment.
All right. So you jumped over to funeral honors. After that, you ended up getting pulled over back to the mortar section. Is that right?
Yes and no. So during my time in funeral honors, I was still part of Battalion Mortars, but at that time I got transferred to 2 of the 151 out in South Bend.
Okay.
And dual mission, running the mortars, running mortars as a gun sergeant, and running honor guard as my full-time job. So.
Oh, so you were pretty busy.
Yeah, full-time military at that point.
All right, so you being the mortar sergeant, was there ever a time in like 2011 when you just got done with basic training in AIT and you were just watching everything going on and like, did you ever think you would be the person running that section? I know you didn't run specifically the Fort Wayne section, but did you ever think that, wow, that's going to be me?
To be honest, no, I thought I'd be done with after 6 years.
What made you continue joining? Or re-enlisting?
To be honest, I don't know. This right hand just keeps deciding to, come right back up and saying, yeah, I'll extend.
Nice.
Something about this uniform.
All right, so I understand we have a video and some pictures from you actually running your mortar section, some stuff like that. Let's talk about that.
Sure.
So what's this video of?
So right now, these are actually my boys. We're in Camp Atterbury here in Indiana, and what they are doing is they're doing a live fire exercise. So those 3 guns that are up and running right now, those are a 60 millimeter mortar system.
All right, that's big.
Which is a smooth bore, muzzle loaded, high angle fire weapon system.
Okay.
And you can see how fast these rounds are going down range. We're basically supporting a mission that we collected the data from our forward observer, possibly supporting an 11 Bravo maneuver element.
So you said you're firing on a position that was given to you by your forward observer?
So right now, where we are established, that is what we call a MFP, which stands for mortar firing point.
Okay. So walk me through from call in to you sending rounds down range. What happens?
Sure. So we receive the mission.
Okay.
And then our RTO, our radio trans operator, relays that message to the section sergeant,
Okay.
which would be me. And then I convert the data, I send it out to the gun line, and then each gun has your gun sergeant, your gunner, assistant gunner, and then they input all that data into the gun, and they manipulate that system to where you want that round to land.
Okay.
And then once the gun sergeant sees the data is correct, that's when the gunner gives the thumbs up and starts having his AG, assistant gunner, start hanging rounds.
And this is all stuff that you learn not only in AIT, but in your
All
years of
throughout
experience.
my military career.
Okay. So, you're the mortar section sergeant right now, and I understand that you're actually, that's funny. You want to answer that?
No, it's not important.
So you're the mortar section right now. I understand that you are actually getting moved into an RSP cadre position. You're actually going to be in charge of all the cadre, RSP being the recruit sustainment program, so all the people coming into the National Guard. You're basically going to be making sure that what? What is your position there, and how did you get into that?
So, again, I hate to use the same phrase, but an opportunity arose again, or arised again, and I took it as, and they offered me a position as the NCOIC, the non-commissioned officer in charge of these cadres, training young recruits, basically getting them prepared, ready for basic combat training and advanced individual training. I like to give some of the knowledge that I've retained over the years as a recruiter, being familiar with the RSD program itself, and my time out on the mortar line, military honor guard, whatever it may be. I like to put everything together and maybe give back to see if I could better, if not help, get these young recruits a little bit more taste for basic, a little taste for success, give them a little encouragement, motivation, basically a challenge that I've accepted internally to see if I could maybe
You want to make sure that they're prepared.
something,
for
yeah,
training,
along
right?
those lines, absolutely.
So is there anything that you wish somebody would have told you going into basic training?
I don't know if I'm a good example. I was a quick ship, so I joined and I just went straight to basic.
So you didn't even know what you were in for.
No,
Did you go to an RSP program like this at all?
1 month.
1 month, so you had
And then
2
I was-
days and just
then I
had
was
absolutely
gone.
no idea.
Yeah, I had 2 days of RSP, RSD, whatever it's called, and then the next drill, it was my ship briefing, and then I got shipped off.
Nice. So right now, you are working with the state's COVID mission, right?
I am supporting the COVID.
So what is it you are doing right now?
So I'm in charge. I'm also the NCOIC for this COVID mission. I have about 15 soldiers with me. And for the state demand, we are currently supporting in a warehouse environment.
Mm-hmm.
So I push production along with my boys to anywhere from packaged foods to go out to mobile deliveries, taking donations and unloading them into the warehouse, things of that nature.
So like all the checkpoints for the high school lunches, stuff like that, is that you?
Yep, so
helping out with that?
we do real services,
Mhm.
food for kids.
Okay.
We've been on mobile deliveries to high school parking lots, things of that nature. But most importantly, we package for our food pantries when it opens up for distribution.
Okay.
So we try to push numbers to make sure the community has enough food ready for when they roll in. All we have to do is get their pertinent information, give their food, and they could be on their way.
And that's like a living example of what we always try to preach, that the Guard puts the community first.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So, what is your favorite memory in the Guard?
Oh man, I can't pinpoint a single favorite memory, but if I have to choose, it would be maybe like a chained event. So back in 2016, I attended or I participated in a XCTC here in Camp Atterbury, Indiana.
Okay.
And then right after XCTC, I had the opportunity to go over to Fort Polk, Louisiana for a JRTC rotation.
Mm-hmm.
And right after, we went to Sendai, Japan to support the Pacific Pathways.
So you got to go to Japan.
I did go to Japan.
In the Guard.
As a guardsman, yep.
What was that like?
Oh, it rained.
I heard it rained a lot.
It was
Where were you sleeping?
in a tent, in a tent on a mountainside. I don't know. But
man.
it was a real cool experience. So I went as a mortarman,
Mm-hmm.
and
What was your duty as a mortarman?
our duty was to cross train with our counterparts.
Okay.
So we were able to experience how the Japanese shot their mortar system, and then we brought them over and taught them how the Americans, how we shoot our mortar system. So there was a lot of cross training going on. Very cool experience. I've never done anything like it. So
Would you say that there's a huge difference between what they were doing and what we were doing?
Yes and no. So all in all, the safety checks are all the same. You know, we're all gonna shoot mortars. At the end of the day, we get a mission, a fire mission, and we're gonna support that mission. We're gonna get it done. Some of the procedures may be a little bit different. I know the Japanese, they adopted what the Marine Corps does.
And what is it
And
that they do?
before they fire, they hang it. They yell "ready, fire," in that order.
So what does it mean when you say they hang it?
They get the round ready into the cannon itself, and they're just holding the round, waiting for basically the command of execution.
So when they say fire, they drop.
They drop.
What
they go
do
down.
we do?
We hang it and we fire it. They have an additional pause.
Okay.
I mean, I guess
There's subtle differences that if you were a mortarman,
if
you
you were
would
to
know.
see it, then you'd be like, yeah, they hang it just the same. But as a mortarman, we could see it.
Right, right.
But I thought that was really cool. You know, their mortar systems are a little bit different too. I know our 120, we could shoot it conventionally, like how we shoot with our 60s and our 81. Their 120 mortar system is, I want to say they're on tracks. Like they look like a mini artillery.
Really?
So, yep, I thought that was pretty cool. A lot of new good information that I brought back from the Japanese forces.
So but for our mortars, people are lugging them around on their backs, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
And
Except for the
they got a whole
120.
vehicle for it, huh?
Yeah. 120s, you're not going to load that on your back.
Right, right. So what advice would you give somebody if they were thinking about the Guard? What would you tell them? Even if, as far as, if they were thinking about jobs, what kind of stuff would you tell them?
So I wouldn't worry too much about jobs. Getting through the initial process, getting in contact with the recruiter, definitely something that not all Americans do. But if they want a challenge, if they want to push themselves, if they want to be better than who they are currently, then very, very good route that could possibly turn into a career. You'll make lifelong goals. You will accomplish lifelong goals. You will make lifelong friends. But as for advice, I would pick your biggest challenge and apply it to the National Guard and see if they could push you, because I know it will.
All right.
I don't know if that's advice or not.
No, that's good. That's good. Well, Sergeant Chung, I appreciate your time. Do we have anything?
Back to me? Yeah, we're going to transition over. All right, guys, so that's pretty much the end of our live stream. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow at 1 p.m., Tuesday, May 19th, 2020, for our live Q&A on the $20,000 sign-on bonus and our top 10 jobs. Thanks for joining in.